What is going on, everybody? How are you all doing? Thank you very much for Matthew Berry, Michael Foley, Owen Bowles, and I can't say that name, but thank you so much for joining the stream. You're nice and punctual, that's what I like to see. Get the stream off to a good start. Of course, we start off the stream with, what is everybody drinking today? I've got Kronenberg. Only got one can left though, so we then move on to Carlsberg. So yeah, so we'll let some people get into the chat. If you didn't know, Man United score. They are losing 1-0 to CSKA Moscow. And then I believe Chelsea are currently drawing with Atletico Madrid. 0-0 at the moment. Bayern Munich winning 2-0 against Paris Saint-Germain. FC Basel beating Benfica. Celtic versus Anderlecht is 0-0. Roma, Qarabag 0-0. Barcelona Sporting is 0-0. And Juventus are beating Olympiacos. So, some interesting scorelines in the Champions League. And also, just an update. King of live streams. I like that, Michael Foley. I'm sure there's people getting better numbers in live streams, but you know, it's all good. Let's have a look at what I managed to do over the weekend. If you haven't watched my team, I managed to get 61 points when the average was 44. There were a lot of you that did a lot better than that. Got some very high scores amongst a group of you guys. So well done to anyone that was well above the average. My Gameweek rank was around the 500,000 mark. My overall points is now at 821, leaving my overall rank at 238,847. So we're climbing up the tables, climbing up the FPL Today League as well as every other league, all green arrows. That's what we like to see. Top of the Football Manager community, which is expected. I should be top because I'm the one that takes this really seriously, and they're all doing Football Manager videos, so probably don't have as much time to look at the sides. And anything else? Kirchhoff's head-to-head league. I've managed to go above Bretsby, which means he must have lost. He lost to Kurt, which did me a massive favour, and now I'm top of this little group of us that have our own head-to-head league, which is nice. And then yeah, that's about it. FPL updates writers. I smashed this league last year. I'm only 7th at the moment, but c'est la vie. That's the way things go sometimes. Not the best start I've had all season, so clearly suffering from that. Let's see who else has joined the flock in the stream. We got Fire Talk, how you doing? Matthew Berry is loving the streams. J Rock is in the chat. How you doing, J Rock? Alex Howlett is drinking fruit tea. Siraj, of course Siraj is here. Thank you so much, Siraj, for joining. Are you drinking chocolate ice cream though? J Rock says it's too early to drink. I'm in Cali. I suppose in the winter it is. In the summer, drink anytime. 21 people already viewing. We're only 3 minutes in. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Siraj says thanks for praying against Arsenal. Needed 10 times prayers against City. Man United did well, didn't they, against Arsenal? Attacked really well on the counter. I think Pogba was very unlucky, but it is a red card. But it's a shame that he got unlucky with that tackle. He was going for the ball, I believe, but it did endanger Bellerin, so it's a shame to see him out. Anyway, quickly before I get too far down in the stream, Matthew Berry came in with the first question, and it is take out Sane for Sterling. I mean, on returns so far, that would be the best bet because Sterling's returning a lot more than Sane currently is, but Sane's more nailed on in that side. As far as goals scored, we have Sterling on 3 out the last 6 game weeks, and we have Sane. I don't think he's got any so far in the last 6 game weeks. Yeah, Sane's got one. Sorry, he's got 1 goal in the last 6 to Sterling's 3. As far as attempts on goal, and if I can get this, I can compare their underlying stats right against each other. So give me a second. We've got Sterling there. Compare Sterling with Sane. Okay, so Sterling does win in the majority of stats. He's cheaper FPL price-wise. He's played more minutes currently in the last 6 game weeks. scored more goals. He's assisted less, but fantasy assists, he's got more. So overall in assists, basically what a fantasy assist is something that in the Premier League isn't considered an assist, but in FPL, Fantasy Premier League, it is considered an assist. So both have 2 assists overall, which is equal. And then if we have a look at goal involvement, goal involvement is won by Sterling, 42% to 25%. He looks like he's winning on the bonus point system as well. As far as goal threat, he's had more penalty area touches. He's got a better minutes per goal ratio. He's got less attempts on goal, which means his shot accuracy is better, as well as his goal conversion. So he's doing better with his chances, and he's creating more chances per minute as well as creating more chances overall, 10 to 8, and with more through balls and big chances created. Basically, Raheem Sterling is winning in every single statistical area, but that doesn't mean Sane isn't, of course, suddenly going to start returning some decent points. But right now, Sane does look like he isn't worth the 0.5 million more compared to Sterling. If you're wondering why I'm drinking from a can, I think I may drink slower from a can than I do from a glass, which might help me not get as tipsy as quickly. And Amir Hajar is in the chat. I have 3 WF players because Pogba is gone. What's WF mean? I have no idea what WF means. I've not seen that before, as far as I'm aware. J Rock, Suraj Karanja, who's in your midfield. Matthew Berry got 64 points for Gameweek 15, very similar to you. You know what? Great minds think alike often, don't they, Matthew? That is a decent midfield Suraj has got. 4-man midfielders Salah, KDB, Hazard and Richarlison. Blues Bees is in this chat. Thank you very much. I've noticed you on Twitter as well, supporting me, so thank you so much for that, Blues Bees. Devshit is in the chat as well. It looks like we're getting the whole crew today. Of course, the Norwegians here as well. Jan, thank you so much for joining the stream. As always, good to see you. Mark Baker, literally, is there anyone not turning up today? Who isn't here? How dare they? Is Pogba out 6 matches? 3 matches, J-Rock. I'm pretty sure Devshit is right. As far as I'm aware, it's 3 matches, which is really bad because I just literally got him in. He was starting to play well and he's out again. FPL Cadet is in the chat. Who's my captain for Game Week 16? Good question. Not sure what the answer is right now. So, just before I forget, I'm going to tweet out the stream because I haven't. But as far as my captain is concerned, do I really risk Kane again? Could I really be that stupid that many times in a row? This is going to be a very basic tweet. Just put in the hashtags that are necessary. And then we'll get on to your question. Let's see who's playing who. So, Game Week 16, we got Chelsea against West Ham. Fancy Eden Hazard as captain. Again, West Ham very poor defensively. Arsenal against Southampton. Not too sure about that one. Not jumping on that one. Everton-Liverpool is too unpredictable a game for me to really want to put the captain's armband on Firmino or Salah. Tottenham versus Stoke. Stoke have conceded recently. I think their defence is slightly better after the last game. I don't remember what the scoreline was in the last game. I mean, the one that seems the safest to me is Chelsea and Eden Hazard. Just looking at it right off the bat. West Ham have a very poor defence, conceded 15 in the last 6, only second to Huddersfield as far as goals conceded. Shots conceded inside, they're second, 61, to Newcastle at 66. So who are Newcastle playing? Newcastle are playing Leicester. So if you've got a Leicester player, potentially that could be an option for you as far as a captain. Total shots conceded. West Ham are second to Man United. Man United have conceded a lot of shots thanks to Arsenal. But of course, De Gea saved 14 of those shots. West Ham have conceded a total of 91 shots. And as far as shots on target, they've conceded the most on target with 38. So I would definitely consider the easiest captain choice to be a Chelsea player. As I don't have Morata, although I'm tempted to maybe go Morata and then maybe switch back to Kane when it comes closer to that double game week that is around the corner. If you didn't know, by the way, game week 22, Tottenham and West Ham both have a double game week because they're not playing in game week 21. It's been postponed until after January, I believe. So just so everybody is aware, and I should probably do a video on it, yeah, West Ham and Spurs both have a double game week in game week 22, I believe, but it could be 21, but I'm pretty sure it's 22. So definitely be ready for that. But my brain, my logic is saying Eden Hazard is the best captain choice. Desiree Chirija, unlucky for a David De Gea clean sheet. Imagine David De Gea got a clean sheet. What a return that would have been. 14 saves and a clean sheet. Devshit thinks Salah or Hazard's best choice for captain. Chat is popping off already. I'm already falling behind. You know me. I like to be behind in the chat. J Rock, I really think Hazard's the best choice. That's my own gut feeling. Kane could have an explosive game week, but how long have we been waiting for that? So I don't really want to risk that. If I was going to go between the two, I'd go Salah just because he's been more consistent. But then, knowing my luck, Kane would score an absolute bagful this weekend. The first weekend I might not captain him. What's up, Real DMC? Thank you so much for joining the chat. Siraj is saying his gut says Salah. I mean, Salah has done really well recently and only had one game week just now. He did get an assist, but that was a poor score for Salah compared to his actual form recently. Thomas McCarthy is in the chat. What's up, Thomas? Hazard, Kane, Vardy or Morata in captain? I would say Hazard. Vardy is a shout, though, is a differential. If you're trying to really catch someone up, Vardy against Newcastle could be a decent shout. As usual, Thomas, with the reminder, please like and share the video if you are a supporter of the flock. Play Daniels this week. I have a funny feeling Palace will score. Let's have a look at the stats. As far as Bournemouth go, defensively, Bournemouth have been very good in the last 6, only conceding 4. And as far as attacking wise, Palace are around mid-table with 6 goals. As far as attempts, Palace are actually pretty good for attempts. They are 6th for attempts, 77 attempts in total, 52 inside the box, which is even better at 5th. So I'd say potentially Palace will score in this game, but Bournemouth's defence haven't been shady or shoddy at all. So that's a hard one to call, but I would say Daniels may not get a clean sheet. Alex Howlett wants some advice on a transfer. We're looking at Eden Hazard and Loftus-Cheek for Fabregas and Sterling. Hazard is a better choice than Fabregas if the money allows it, which I presume is why Loftus-Cheek for Sterling is an option. But Sterling has looked really good despite his risk of playtime. He's still returning points. So I personally wouldn't be looking to get rid of Sterling, but I feel like with Chelsea's run of fixtures, which are very, very favourable, I think you have to have Hazard or Morata. If you don't have Morata, I'd get Hazard in, and then so I'd say that transfer is worth it just for the balance of your team. But I do like Sterling. Just want to point that out there. Just so you all know how good Chelsea's fixture list is, let me read it out for you. Right now, the only team I'd say have a better fixture list is Watford. Chelsea have West Ham, Huddersfield, Southampton, Everton and Brighton Hove Albion. That is a very, very good run of games. The next 2 are away, but West Ham and Huddersfield are 2 of the worst teams for conceding goals. Then a home game against Southampton, an away game against Everton, who maybe turning a corner, but they've been very poor against big teams. And then Brighton Hove Albion away. The only team better fixture list wise is probably Watford, with Burnley, Crystal Palace both away. Burnley are decent away though. Huddersfield at home, Brighton Hove Albion away, and then Leicester at home. Potentially Watford could be getting a lot of points from Richarlison, but Watford's defence hasn't been the best, so I'd mainly look at attack there. And then Arsenal do have a good run of free fixtures: Southampton, West Ham and Newcastle. So it might be time to bring in Ramsey for Pogba just to cover those 3 games, because Man United's next 3 games are Man City, Bournemouth and West Brom, but Man United have looked best when Pogba is playing, so I'd probably go with Ramsey as a... I know I said in my team video I'd go with Grosh, but Brighton's fixture list is Huddersfield, Spurs, Burnley. Burnley's defence is decent. Spurs, although they're not performing great, they've only really conceded 1 odd goal. Will Grosh be involved? And then Huddersfield, I reckon that's a game Brighton could win quite heavily. So I might bring in Grosh and then Ramsey, but then I can't really change stuff elsewhere. Anyway, gone on for a while, probably falling even further behind the chat. As we creep up to 40 followers, viewers on the stream. So welcome anyone new to the stream. Thank you for joining. TP is back in the chat. How you doing, TP? Great to see you. Mark Baker says, want to get rid of Kane to get Hazard this week. Good idea, or have I missed the Hazard bus? What's his current ownership? 12.4, so it's jumped up a bit, but not massively. I think it will continue to rise into the weekend. I think he's going to be a very popular transfer. Has he risen in price? He was 10.7. He's now 10.8. I wouldn't say it's too late to get on it. Especially with that ownership is still very, very low considering the fixtures that he's got coming up. Literally until the 3rd of January, you don't have a bad fixture to worry about, really. And then until the end of February, which is after the transfer window, which is good. Yeah. And then, yeah, fair enough. Those 5 fixtures, a bit tough. Then he has a good run again. I would say it's not too late to get on the Hazard train at all, looking at those fixtures and looking at the price and the ownership. TP, because you didn't catch it at the beginning, I'm drinking a Kronenberg and then I've got a Carlsberg at my feet at the moment, ready to be consumed. And I've got some more beers in the fridge just in case this is another long one, because you guys have been quite demanding, but I do enjoy it, so I can't really complain. Your guys' support has been awesome, so I'm just trying to avoid reading out questions that you guys have for each other, which of course you've got a lot of people in the know in the chat, so feel free to ask people. Siraj seems like the most popular one to ask, but there's plenty of other people you can ask questions to as well. Devshit was 71 points last game week, beating me. Seb wants to know, Salah captain versus Everton. It could be a great scoring game for Salah. It's definitely a game which could have a lot of goals. It can also be a cagey affair with a lot of fouls. So what I would say is I like Hazard more against West Ham than I like an unpredictable Merseyside derby. Mark Baker says time for a drink. If you say so, boss. Siraj says you might want to keep Kane. He's involved in a double game week. To be honest, unless you're thinking Spurs can do really, really well in that double game week, you can always transfer Kane in as your captain. Would I say you necessarily have to like try and triple up on Spurs? Is it that good? I know it's pretty good fixtures. So we've got Spurs, West Ham, so that's a good fixture home against West Ham. Not that Spurs have been doing that great. West Ham, there's no one standing out right now, but there could be when we get a bit closer. And then Swansea, Spurs. You know what? I reckon maybe 2 attacking players, but with Spurs' defence the way it is, you don't need a defender. And then, who knows, there might be an option from the West Ham side when we actually get closer to the double game week. By the way, are you guys excited for a double game week so early in the season? It's not really usual to have one so early in the season, so kind of shakes things up a bit when there's a random one plunked in there. It might be a time to use your free hit if you really want to start the new year strong. Real DMC, changed Pogba for Coutinho, also got Salah, so I want Liverpool to go mental. The reason I'm not looking at Coutinho is because I've already got Salah and Firmino, so I don't want to go too ham on Liverpool. That's free attacking Liverpool players. I do think a bit more Chelsea coverage would do me the world of good. Jan got 56 points, missed out on Kane's captaincy again, still quite happy though. Yeah, Kane's really, really hurting me at the moment. I want to get rid of Kane but can't do it. There's a fear that's making me keep Kane, and I think that's the same with a lot of the community. We know what Kane is capable of, but we know what Aguero's capable of, and we didn't seem to worry too much about getting rid of him purely because of the rotation. Because Kane doesn't get rotated much, that may be actually hindering his performances. Maybe one game to rest would have done him the world of good and he would have scored more points. I am scared to get rid of him though, because I just have this feeling that as soon as I get rid of him, that game week he will go absolutely ham. Devshit, Salah, Hazard, Richarlison, Sermon and Sterling is in his midfield. I said Sermon would keep continuing to get points quietly, and I'm pretty sure he got points this last game week. I'm pretty sure I saw that he got something, and I'm like, yeah, he doesn't have the greatest underlying stats, but he is quietly continuing to score points above the likes of Matt Ritchie, above the likes of Brady, Pogba, Özil, Mkhitaryan, Mane. Like, just you can't complain because he's going to be on your bench a lot anyway, I'm presuming, and he got 7 points, he got an assist and bonus points. Like, just because his underlying stats aren't there, he's still getting points quietly. He'd have been a better option than a lot of the favourites amongst the £4.5 million range. Michael Foley, what you think of my team? Ben Foster, Otamendi, Kolasinac, Azpilicueta, Grosh, Hazard, Sterling, Salah, Morata, Lacazette. Like Morata and Lacazette, I think Lacazette is quietly doing a decent job. And whilst Aguero and Jesus have their rotation risk, Kane isn't performing, there's nothing wrong with having Lacazette at all. Like the midfield, Grosh, maybe you could change to Richarlison. Now the fixtures are really good for Watford, but Grosh isn't a bad player to have. As far as defence is good, but Ben Foster, I think you can do better than Ben Foster at the moment. Devjit, I don't know why I'm trying to say your surname. Replacement for Niasse. I'd say Calvert-Lewin is the man to be looking at right now. But to be honest, there's been no consistent budget performer. With Glenn Murray on penalties, though, for Brighton, he may be a good one to consider just because of those penalties. Because we know Calvert-Lewin won't be on the penalties. Ilyas Hussein, Flock is flying high already. By the way, in the link in the description, if you want a Flock t-shirt, I'm waiting for mine to arrive. We have got a new design for the Flock. It's a Join the Flock t-shirt. So if you want to support the stream in any way, you want something for Christmas, people are asking you, what should I get you? Just point them in the direction of that Teespring store. Anyway, will Jones start next game week? Let's have a look-see. I don't think he's close to coming back, but we'll have a check. Phil Jones, potential return is the 10th. So, it's possible. It's possible, but I doubt it right now. I think he'll be rested just because there's a lot of games coming up soon. Thoughts on Niasse? I think we need to worry with Calvert-Lewin's recent performances that Calvert-Lewin and Wayne Rooney are the starters in the Everton side, Ilyas. And I've just dropped to the bottom of the chat as usual. I think I saw a question about Wimbledon there as well. I think the cut qualification is next game week. It's game week 17 as far as I'm aware. So it's not the game week coming up, but it's the game week after. Ilyas is saying Rambo or Sterling. I'm stuck. If Rambo is Ramsey, he's more nailed on and he's cheaper, so I'd probably go Ramsey. But Sterling is a great choice. J Rock's thinking of paying Murray or Daniels. I'm in a bind. Playing, I think he means. I'd say with the fixtures, Brighton against Huddersfield, I would say Murray. I fancy Brighton to get a few goals against Huddersfield. Desiree Tarija, I don't expect 12 points or more every game week, but I definitely expect a certain level of consistency, and he's not really delivering, is he? I think it, like I already explained, it's mainly fear that makes people keep Harry Kane, as far as I can tell. Top 3 captain choices this week. I would say the top 3 captain choices in my mind are Eden Hazard first. We've got Salah purely because of his form. And then it's the third one that's going to be difficult. If Sterling is set to play, I'd say Sterling. If you can tell that Aguero or Jesus is definitely going to play, then they're decent shouts. Actually, you know what? Against Man United, who knows what could happen again? It could be a boring game. It could be another thriller. So scratch that. Hazard first, Salah second. Of course, if you don't have Hazard, that would mean Morata would be your captain choice instead of Hazard. If you don't have Salah, then you could look at Coutinho, you could look at Firmino. So I'd pick a Chelsea captain first, a Liverpool captain second, and then looking at the fixtures, would I dare shout someone like Richarlison? Do like the idea of Jamie Vardy against Newcastle, though. I'm not going to suggest Kane just because I want him to score. So I feel like if I suggest Kane, he won't score. I would say purely for his consistency and the fact that he can score big points, Jamie Vardy. I don't remember a massive return from Richarlison recently. Real DMC, Kane would be good for a double gaming, but I don't have him or any Spurs players. I would say, like, literally, only maybe 2 or 3 transfers before would I necessarily be desperate to bring in a Spurs player. Give Kane one last chance to Stoke. I doubt he will be my transfer purely because of Pogba. So I would say I'm going to give him another chance. I would completely understand if you don't, though. Like, he's getting on my nerves now. Devshit, what is your thoughts about Moyes being a West Ham fan? Is Moyes a West Ham fan? When did that come out? Oh, being a West Ham fan. Me being a West Ham fan. Okay. I thought that said Moyes was a West Ham fan. I didn't know that. But, yeah, that's me. What are my thoughts about Moyes? I've already said this. There's a video on my channel somewhere where I said I don't think he's a good choice. I don't see why. Where's the ambition in West Ham picking David Moyes? So I don't like it. Siraj, I agree. Merseyside derbies usually have goals, but games like that are unpredictable. There have been games with only 1 goal. West Ham did do well against City defensively. They still didn't win, though. Alex Howlett is in the chat. How you doing, mate? CSKA keeper is De Gea in disguise. Daz Dark is in the chat. How you doing, Daz? Jean is going for Eden Hazard as captain. I think that's a good choice. Hopefully, this will be the 3rd game week I'm right in a row on stream, if I am correct. Of course, we may get a transfer tonight if I drink enough of these beers, because it worked last time. Nico London has a double up on Arsenal defence. I don't feel like I've seen you in a while, Nico, so good to see you in the stream, my friend. That's all. To be honest, Siraj, that goal, yes, Ramsey should have been marked, I reckon, which meant Lacazette wouldn't have got it. Ramsey messed up that touch. He didn't mean to kick that back to Lacazette or touch it back to Lacazette. It worked out well for them, though. Vardy is a real differential. If Vardy does really well and you captain him and the other captain choices don't do really well, you'll jump up in rank significantly. Is Moreno playing this week? I would wait, J-Rock, until we've seen the Champions League game. Then we're going to have a better idea if he will play. So you got Leicester City TP if you get past Fleetwood. Hopefully you enjoy the game, and if you do get through, your team is playing my dad's team, so that'll be interesting. Wimbledon, AFC Wimbledon, of course, have Tottenham Hotspurs at Wembley. I would love to go. I would love to vlog it. Been to Wembley before, of course. That vlog is also on my channel somewhere. So yeah, but I would love to do it again. Desiree Chirija will sell Kane and get Vardy, then sell Silva and get Hazard. Silva's still quietly getting points. I know I keep saying maybe swap out Silva, but he's doing better than Sane currently. I'm clearly not watching United, Mark. I'm with you guys. But update me in the chat if I ever get to that point. Thoughts on Firmino? I like Firmino. As far as his actual stats go, in the last 6 game weeks, he's one of the top scorers. You have a lot of people on 3 goals. But as far as the expensive strikers, only Lacazette and Morata have matched Firmino. Rooney has also matched Firmino, who's cheaper. Aguero's got 2 goals. Jesus has 2 goals. Kane has 2 goals. Vardy has 2. So Firmino's definitely holding his own. I think with the players around him, he should still be involved in goals quite regularly. And then as far as Liverpool's fixtures go, Liverpool have Everton, West Brom and Bournemouth in the next 3. And then Swansea after the Arsenal game in game week 20. So they've got a good run of fixtures. So that is why I do like Firmino at the moment. TP, I really want to go, but you know what? Because it's Spurs and it's Wembley, I'm worried the tickets will be really expensive. And it'll be just after Christmas. I don't know if I'll go. And if I go, will people go with me? It's going to be expensive, or it could be. Could be cheap, I don't know. So, we'll see. KM is in the chat. Thank you for joining the chat, my friend. Thinking of getting rid of... I have Silva. Thinking of getting rid. I have Hazard and Salah. Was thinking of Coutinho. Any suggestions? Also, I have Niasse. Should I be looking to replace him? I think Niasse may be someone you need to replace. As far as midfielder-wise, Silva is a much better than Sterling, really. I mean, you could go Ramsey. You could look at Richarlison because of the fixtures. But I don't know who else you have other than Salah and Hazard. Salah and Hazard, of course, the 2 that I would say must be your expensive midfielders. So I'm glad you have those 2, though. Siraj thinks Özil is worth a go. Thomas McCarthy, my team, Foster, Hegarty, Otamendi, Meeting. Not sure who that is meant to be. Daniels, Richarlison, Carroll, David Silva, Salah, Kane and Morata, Elliot Pogba, Abraham. So I would definitely look at changing Foster and Hegarty. Then I would maybe look at Carroll. Tom Carroll's not that great. David Silva, I'd say, is not a necessary change until you've got past some of those other changes I mentioned. Kane, of course, is whether you decide you're scared of him scoring loads or not. So that is why I would never suggest to get rid of Kane, but I'm definitely thinking about doing it myself. Ilyas is saying, how's my team? Pope, Speroni, like the goalkeepers. Otamendi, Christensen, like Daniels, me, Mariappa. I like the defence. Hazard, Salah, Ramsey, Shaqiri, Sermon, Kane, Morata, and then Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I would say, I don't know why, but I just don't have an affinity for Shaqiri. Otherwise, I do really like your side. I feel like Richarlison's better value for money at the moment. Asib Chowdhury, I would drop both in the long run. I mean, maybe keep Kane until the double game week's over. You could, of course, transfer Kane in after the double game week if you really wanted to. But I would say Kane being in your side for that double game week is just a safe way to play it. So Aguero maybe get rid of because of the rotation. If it wasn't for that double game week, though, Kane might be on his last legs. I think the double game week's definitely saved him a bit. Desiree Charija, Big Sam's too defensive, so I prefer to captain Hazard than Morata. TP Football Analysis. Oh no, he's talking to Siraj. I really need to practice not reading it when it clearly says at Siraj. TP, that's not usually the case. He says, why is it the most expensive strikers in the FPL are the worst? Usually, at least one of the most expensive strikers is performing. This is a very strange period, to be fair, in Fantasy Premier League, where you have the premium price strikers and none of them are really performing. Alex Howlett, Fabianski, this is his team, by the way. Fabianski, Ward, Norton, Christensen, Hazard, Richarlison, Salah, Loftus, Grosh, Kane and Morata. Who do I need? I'd say your team's lacking Man City coverage, but they have, of course, died off a bit as far as their performances are going. They're not winning by as many goals as they were. The problem is, where would you fit that player in? Because you want Hazard and Salah. So I kind of feel like, do you need a Man City player? That sounds crazy to say, but when was the last time they won by a big goal score? Or, you know what I mean. So, last game, they won 2-1. Not massive scoreline. 2-1 again. 2-1 again. 2-0. So they're scoring 2 goals a game. 3-1 against Arsenal. 3-2. So that it's been, I'd say, since game week 12, they've only been scoring 2 goals a game. Which means the goals are also getting shared about. Whereas, like, for Chelsea, Hazard's usually involved or Morata's usually involved. For Liverpool, at least until the last game, Salah was usually involved. So, potentially, do you need a Man City player? That feels weird to say, considering the form they started with, though. So, I'm not sure you do need to change anything in that midfield, at least. Maybe Kane could be changed to someone cheaper, and then you can... You don't need to upgrade Hazard or Salah. You could upgrade Loftus, potentially. I'm not sure if there's amazing options other than Loftus. You could maybe upgrade Norton in your defence. Thomas McCarthy's thinking of Kane out for Firmino and Pogba for Hazard. This is -4. Good idea, Siraj. Everyone's asking Siraj questions. Siraj, when are you doing a stream? By the way, just a word of warning, as I polish off my beer. Don't jump on Firmino just because I got him in last game week and he did really well. That doesn't mean he will definitely do really well this next game week. Part of it was luck. It was a decision I made and then just went straight with it. But it could work out really well, but don't just jump on it because I've just done it and it worked out well. Never chase the points. Look at the best players with the best fixtures and make that decision. So I would say Chelsea have the best fixtures with 2 of the best players in the game at the moment. Try and get those in first, then look at other teams. Don't just jump on Firmino because I went with it. Although Liverpool's fixtures aren't too bad, especially in the next 3, all I'm saying is don't just chase my points because Chelsea and Arsenal probably have a better fixture list overall than Liverpool do. So just a little word of warning. Sorry, I've dropped down to the bottom of the chat again. happens. I wish there was a way to stop it. Is Elliot not nailed on anymore? I've got to get him out. It doesn't look like he is, which is annoying because it kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it? If we have a look. He's not played in the last 2. And I don't know why suddenly that was decided. He's dropped from 4.2. I'm almost thinking he needs to go, but the rest of my team I feel needs some sort of attention. Carroll's dropped to 4.4. Damn it. So I need to change Carroll as well, or I'm just losing money on him. This is not looking good, is it? Carroll and Elliot and Mbemba. And I need a good bench over Christmas. And Pogba's suspended. So I might need to take a -4 this game week. Siraj, I know you keep saying he'll be the assist man, but the thing with Pogba is 5 points, 5 points, 12 points. Only one game where he didn't get an assist or a goal. And to be honest, he'd have had a great score if he hadn't got sent off in this one. And then when he was playing before, he got an assist, he got a good point haul, he got a goal. Again, 1 out of 4 he didn't return, 1 out of 4 he didn't return. So I don't feel like he will just be the assist of the assist man. I think he will get a few assists of the assists, but I think he will also get enough, especially in games against weaker opponents where he is worth it. Immortal Rapids, I think Coutinho in for Salah. He's cheaper and I feel his return will be higher in the long run. What do you think? I'm going to have to disagree, Immortal Rapids, purely because if I compare Salah to Hazard, and we've got to understand Coutinho hasn't had as much game time, so we have to take that into account. But Mohamed Salah is leading the way for not only goals scored just generally, but also stats like attempts on goal and all sorts of stats. Philip Coutinho could leave in January. It's not a definite thing, but it's very clear that there are a lot of clubs interested in Coutinho, and Coutinho potentially isn't happy at Liverpool. If he leaves in January and you've brought him in, then you've got to make a transfer. I don't think it's worth bringing in a player that looks like he could be leaving at this stage in the game. Even in the short term, even if he got a lot of points, it's a transfer that you don't have to make. It's a waste of 2 transfers if you haven't got Coutinho already, potentially. If we look at the price, yes, Salah has risen to 9.9 million apparently, whereas Coutinho's 8.9. Starts-wise, Salah has started 5 out of the last 6 and played in 6 of the last 6. And we know what happened when he came on as a sub in that game where he didn't start. Coutinho started 3 out of 6. No extra appearances on top of that. As far as goals scored, it's 7-2. As far as assists, it's 2-3. So Salah's only behind on assists by 1 and is ahead on goals by 5. Sorry, make that behind on total assists if we include fantasy assists by 2. But he's ahead on goals by 5. And then if we have a look at goal involvement, we've got Coutinho's actually involved when he's on the pitch in more goals, which is surprising. 67% of goals scored when Coutinho's on the pitch he's involved in. 56 for Salah. But if Salah's playing more, he's going to get more points anyway. Bonus points wise, you're actually looking at Salah sometimes getting massive BPS scores, which gets him bonus points, whereas Coutinho is more consistent. As far as goal threat, there is absolutely no stat that Coutinho beat Salah on. Goals 7-2, goal attempts 23-12, goal attempts inside the box 17-4. We've got shots on target 13-4, big chances 6-1, big chances scored 5-1, minutes per attempt 19.3 to 20.7, which means a lot of Coutinho, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Shots come from distance. Shot accuracy 56.5 compared to 33.3. Goal conversion 30.4 to 16.7. And then as far as assists go, you'd think this is where Coutinho really catches up. But we look at the ones that are more likely to get you points. Through balls, Coutinho has played 3, 2, Salah's 1. Chances created, Salah's created 11 chances to Coutinho's 7. Big chances created, they're equal on 2. Assists, of course, Salah is behind. And minutes per chance created, Salah's only 5 minutes behind. It's because it's 35 minutes per chance created for Coutinho and 40 for Salah. So I don't see any reason why Salah isn't the better option. Now, if you haven't got Salah, he's now getting to the price range where Coutinho potentially is the better option. But other than that, I would actually say that I disagree, and Salah is a better choice than not Immortal Rapids, than Coutinho. Don't know how good Immortal Rapids is at football. Siraj is stressing out because Man United can't score. Tiger Rage's team. We've got Fabianski and Elliott. Elliott looks like he might not be a starter anymore. We've got Otamendi, Christensen, Daniels, Salah and Loftus-Cheek. Hazard, Richarlison, Sterling, Morata, Kane. Bench, Elliott, Ward and Bemba. And then I think that's a Huddersfield player. Once getting Pope, Kiko Firmino and Calvert-Lewin. I'd say that's a decent shout. Loftus-Cheek, potentially there's better out there. Other than that, I like your team. Kane, of course, there's the massive debate about Kane. And then Elliott does look like he needs a change. Am I alone with captaining Kane? I just feel like, am I just asking for, like... Is it an idiot that asks to keep getting shafted by the fact that Kane suddenly has decided he's not going to play that well? Firetog. I have Salah, Hazard and Sterling. Moved Grosh and Richarlison, Coutinho and Hughes. Will I regret that move or do the better differentials make a smart move? Again, like I've just said, I think Coutinho is potentially going to move. So if you bring him in, you're going to have to take him out. That doesn't mean he is moving, but I just feel like he's likely to move. It depends on your rank. If I was really highly ranked, I wouldn't take the risk. But otherwise, if you need to improve your rank, then that could potentially work for you. Especially with Watford's good fixtures coming up, Hughes could be a great shout. TP Football Analysis. As a 4 million qualifier compared to 2 million last year, the Cup starts Gameweek 17. Okay, TP thinks it starts this week. Qualification starts this week, and then the Cup starts Gameweek 17. Jean's finally kicked out Vertonghen and put in Monreal. What are your thoughts? Arsenal have a good fixture list, so I think that's a good move overall. No worries, Siraj. Don't worry about it, mate. Okay, Asib Chowdhury. How's this team sound? De Gea, Otamendi, Christensen, Monreal, Salah, Sterling, Richarlison, Hazard, Morata, Lacazette, Elliott, Loftus-Cheek, me and Rosenoir. I'd say Elliott needs to go because you need at least, in case De Gea suddenly gets injured, you need a goalkeeper that's playing. Other than that, I like your team. Can't see much wrong with it. Tiger Rage, Calvert-Lewin, Kiko Firmino and Pope in for Quana, Daniels and Fabianski. Have Hazard. Yeah, I can see that being a good move for you, to be honest. Apparently Lukaku has scored, so Man United are back into that game, which I'm sure Siraj is very, very happy about. That's for Man United scoring. Apparently Rashford scored now. It's 2-1. Siraj with Pogba scoring. Of course Pogba's playing. God damn it. Just rub it in. 0-4 Elliotson CHR. Definitely worth getting Christensen for Jones. I don't think Jones will be rushed back in. Siraj, can we have a stream during Derby game? We score goals when the stream is live. Unfortunately, mate, I think I'm working. And then I've got a Christmas party Sunday, so I can't even do a late stream. When is the game, actually? Yeah, 4:30. I'll be at work until 5, then I'll be getting ready to go to the Christmas party for my work. So, unfortunately, no. Is it okay to do a -4 to take out Lloris for Losel, to take out Pogba for a good player after the City game? I would say -4s are now getting to the point where they're acceptable, purely because if you think about it, having a weak bench when the fixture lists are that tight is a risk. So I would definitely take -4s if it's going to mean you definitely have 13, 14, 15 players who are starting. Thomas McCarthy, I'm pretty set on bringing in Ramsey for Pogba. Florin Sandu is going for Özil as captain. Özil is a good shout. The reason I'm going Ramsey is just price, I think. Gives me a lot more manoeuvrability. But then I had to worry about bringing Pogba back in when Pogba comes back. But Özil is a good shout as well. I don't think he's too expensive. I haven't looked at Özil much, to be fair, this season. Oh, 9.3. See, if it's for a straight Pogba replacement, unless you've got extra funds, I'd say Ramsey. Pogba to Richarlison is a great shout, by the way, Real DMC, because Watford have a good fixture list. TP, if the game is a decent price, I will definitely go and I will try and vlog it. It's been a while since I've vlogged anything. Might see if some of my mates will go. See what I can do with that. Michael Ringsell in the chat. How you doing, Michael? Good to see you. Kane's price is dropping later. I didn't notice that earlier, but it's... At the moment, Kane's price looks like it should be okay for tonight, according to FPL statistics. 97.6. It's close. It could drop. But I just don't think it will. Not tonight anyway. But it's definitely possible. Desiree Trija from Ukraine. Anyone coming for the UEFA Cup final? Or UEFA Champions League final? One of the two. I wish. I wish a company would say, JNO, do you want to go to the game? I wish. But I'm not that big a YouTuber yet. If anyone planning to sell Kane, get Sanchez, who have enough money left to get a car too. I don't know, like Siraj, you're getting your own following. I'm worried I might alienate people if I disagree with you too much. Tiger Rage, I think you've already asked me to rate your team. I'm pretty sure you have. That team looks familiar. So yeah, if you ask questions, just be patient. I do end up quite far behind the stream. Craig Manuel dropping into the chat just to say hello to the flock. Thank you very much for the pop in to say hello. Much appreciated. I'll tell you what, selling Kane to update your midfield from Atsu to Hazard. Hazard's clearly better than Atsu. So I wouldn't disagree with that. But again, I keep saying, I'm just so scared Kane's going to score loads of goals. I've dropped to the bottom of the chat. How far am I away from catching up with the chat? Nowhere near. Nowhere near. You know, whilst I love the support, part of me does miss the days where I could catch up with the chat quite quickly. TP Football Analysis, apparently I already know PSG were behind to Bayern. Chelsea behind, but as it stands, Chelsea and Roma qualifying, Atletico go out. TP Football Analysis, didn't you get Firmino in because you were drunk? Not just that, I liked Liverpool's fixtures and I wanted Hazard in. And to get Hazard in, I needed to save money, and I didn't know if Jesus was starting, and I couldn't see many other ways on my side to get the money to upgrade Eriksen to Hazard. So it was because I was drinking, but there was some thought process behind it. I mean, going cheaper for Firmino worked for me, Tiger Age. I'm not saying it's definitely the move to make, though. I still feel like Kane, Aguero are both capable of getting a massive score. Sorry, just tried not to answer questions that are being asked to other people. Get Ertzl, selling Aguero, or stay with Laka. I think that's advice from Siraj again. Jeff Holt is in the chat. How you doing, Jeff? Is David Silva injured? Mate, I think 12 starters is better than what I've got. Let's have a look. I did not know about that if he is. He is. Muscular injury. Currently being assessed 50%. So he could play. David Silva... Jeff Holt just coming in and dropping a bomb on us. To be honest, Pep could be playing mind games with us. You never know with Pep. Should you consider a Spurs defender? I wouldn't, because guarantee you the fullbacks will get rotated in that double game week, and they've not been that great defensively, Asib, so I wouldn't consider a Spurs defender for the double game week. Florin Sandu, not if you save 2 transfers in advance. But yes, I agree. Getting Kane out, and then if he does rise in price for any reason, it's going to be hard to get him back. That could be a good idea, Jeff. Putting a poll up so we know what scorelines people got. See if the majority of us did well, badly. I will do that for the next stream. Or I will try to do it starting next week if I remember. For a Watford defender, Kabasele or Firmino, I mean, I feel like Firmino has a better chance of getting attacking points. But Kabasele's the one that has actually done it. So if you want the player that has got attacking points in, Kabasele would be the one to go for. I'm not sure why we'd want to see Russians playing naked in Manchester. And I've dropped to the bottom of the chat again. If you can get in Ziegler, he's the one that has really fired home some returns, Asib. But to be honest, apart from him, the clean sheets haven't been plentiful at Watford. So I wouldn't necessarily say a Watford defender is a must. I mean, you could take the gamble because of the fixture list being friendly, but... Should I get Norton out for fuck's sake, Swan? You made me swear, Siraj, God. Swansea 19th. He's still got points, though, which is strange. Every now and again, when I've needed him to get points, it's not very often, but he's done it. To be honest, 5 clean sheets out of 15 isn't bad for 4.5 million. Just wish he'd got an assist or two from somewhere. Mariappa is cheap if you're just going for the potential clean sheet. He is playing at the moment. Pogba is out for 3 games, Jan. Florence Sandu, I personally don't think he deserves it, but I do think it, in the current way of the game is being played and the referees are refereeing, it is a red. But I don't think he meant to, like, deliberately step on Bellerin. I think I'm actually catching up with the chat. What about West Ham for double game week? Maybe Chicharito if fit. I'd say wait and see, Real Dim, see if we notice that there is an option there. If there isn't an option, I wouldn't go fishing for one. Ayew has returned some good points every now and again, but again, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily go fishing for points from that West Ham team. And you know what, guys? Because I've been very, very busy this week and I've actually not spent much time with the family, I am going to call it there because I have caught up with the stream. I know some of you guys may want me to continue for one of the long streams, but I do have other stuff. I am planning to do something with the other channel, so I do have stuff to do. And as I've caught up with the stream, and I believe the Champions League games are over, I'm going to call it a night here. So apologies if you guys wanted a little bit of a longer stream like we have had. But I think because the Champions League game is on, we haven't got the same amount of people we usually do. And I do also get better views when I put up the video live and it's not 2 to 3 hours. So thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. If you've enjoyed, please hit that like button either now or when the video is put up live. Also, please check out the links in the description. You can sponsor the channel and the streams like Blessing and Rolo did. You can also check out the Teespring store with the new Join the Flock t-shirts. I've been JNO. Florence Sandu quickly asked, so just before I go, Florence Sandu asked who's got the best fixtures for this month. I'd say Chelsea have the best fixtures as far as a team that are on form. Then it's Watford as well. So players like Richarlison are a good shout. Will Hughes, maybe Andre Gray. Anyway, I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today. And remember, it's all about the game.